Hey folks, so in today's video I want to just take a couple minutes and look at the rather astonishing strength, both in absolute and relative terms, of the price of gold. Now, as you guys know, I'm not a gold bug or anything like that, but I do think it's notable what gold has done. We're going to be using the GLD ETF to show this, and in fact, over the past couple days, gold has actually now surpassed the year-to-date performance on the S&P 500. And before we look at the charts, I just want to kind of pass this thought out there to kind of ponder on. Treasuries, so bonds, gold, they're all keeping track for the most part with the S&P 500. Now, the S&P is largely a function of literally a few mega cap stocks that are carrying all the weight. And I know I've been saying this now for some time, but I'm trying to at least give you some perspective on sort of the alternative out there, or than just chasing the market higher in a few stocks, which by the way has been working, but I just want to show you kind of what's happening underneath the surface. So if you find this helpful, by all means, leave us a comment down below, give us a thumbs up, like, or subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so. But I'm going to quickly switch the camera angle here so you can see the chart. And what I created here is a very simple line chart, nothing fancy. And I have three things on here. The dark blue line is the S&P 500. We have the golden line, or the orange line, which is the GLD ETF. And then we have this this sort of teal or light blue line, which is the TLT ETF, which represents the longer end of the US yield curve in terms of price of bonds. You can see there's obviously been a fairly decent correlation to the upside. Everything's kind of been rising, but what I want to get to is this most recent move. So year to date, the S&P 500 is up, I think, just north of 5%, closing at seemingly record highs every single day. But gold, looking at the GLD ETF, is now actually up more than 6% for the year. And it's just an interesting anecdote, because through the conversations that I continue to have every week, every day with sort of smarter money investors, for lack of a better term, I can see what they're doing, and this is a very sort of clear way of displaying that they are moving out of the broader equity markets, and they're moving, and they have been doing this for some time, moving into things like gold and buying more treasuries. And this does not, none of this means that the broader equity market has to collapse anytime soon, but it is, I think, a notable, it's at least notable. I don't want to even call it an orange or a red flag, but it's just notable that this is happening. And I think it won't take much of a stumble for just a few stocks, for stocks to correct, and then gold and treasuries continue to basically push higher for some time. I guess that's about pretty much everything I want to say. I don't want to go on a major rant here for no reason, but I just think this is notable. Oh, actually, no, I want to do one more thing. I want to quickly show you this, the price action of things like gold miners and gold, and I'll just make this a long-term chart. So, for example, gold miners, you can see, how they are starting to look. So this is not just isolated to gold. You can see this is a notable move of gold miners. They look like they're about to break higher. The GDX ETF on a weekly chart. So this is not a call for them to go higher over the next 5 minutes or the next day, but you can see what's happening. They're churning, and again, when I see that kind of positive, and by the way, what's really interesting is that gold and gold miners continue to go higher despite the fact that the dollar index continues to go higher. That is to me the most notable thing, which tells you that there's real strength in the gold and gold miners, and even in treasuries for that sense. So anyway, folks, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Help us spread the word about our channel, and we'll talk to you soon.